All right, gang. Well, welcome. We are doing a little client success story case study interviews. And my first guest is the awesome and amazing John Garrett.
Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind.
So, John, talk a little bit about before you came into the Speaker Profit Formula. I mean, you were up and running and successful, and you had some things already figured out. So give us the before picture, and then I want to ask you sort of what light bulbs went off and what value you received in our program together.
Sure, absolutely. Before I got into the program, I was a full-time stand-up comedian doing comedy clubs and theaters all over the country. And I had been doing that for about 8.5 years full-time. So, I was had transitioned into also doing corporate events, but was still doing a good amount of the comedy clubs as well. And things were good. They weren't great, but things were definitely good, and making my way up. And then when I met you and then got into the program, everything kind of changed, I guess, in a good way. But
it's important that we're clear on that.
But there's some growth spurts that have to happen that are painful. But it's good because I was pretty much headed full steam the wrong direction. And I realized that every gig that I got was on accident, really, when it came to the corporate events. And so, because I was approaching it with, I don't want to spill the beans on what the program is, but I was approaching it with the whole, me. These are events that I've done. This is the radio shows I've been on, the TV that I've done, the credits that I have. And no one cares. I would email somebody in September, October, hey, your Christmas party's coming up, book me. I've been on this. And then, of course that didn't work, but I never realized why. I just thought that they were rude jerks. But come to find out, that was me. I was that.
Well, so, and then talk a little bit about just the revenue growth and the fee increase and sort of how we took you from, that lower level of fee and that lower level of revenue up and up and up, and sort of your 6-month or 12-month progression in all of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a rocket ship because, I mean, what you really did, honestly, I wish that you didn't have to hear this part because it's nice. No, but what you did was just a real confidence boost. I didn't really understand the value that I was providing from a humor perspective. I didn't really see any value in it. And a lot of the people that were buying me didn't see that either because I wasn't educating them on that or conveying that. So it was a real confidence boost. And just raising my fees and just getting used to saying a higher number was, a huge learning curve. But I mean, it was really great. And it went from, I mean, it probably, I think in that first year, it was almost double, maybe like 80% increase. And then the next year, it was about another 50% over that. So, part of that is higher, fee that I've been asking for. Part of that's that higher fee. But then another part of it is, just getting better gigs. So, that's what that was all about. And, so, I mean, it was really good.
So overall, after our first 12 months, after, it's like 12 months after, 6 months after, it's like a spread of a disease of some kind.
Right.
But you would say that it was about 80% revenue growth?
Yeah, within the first year, yeah. And part of that was, just a higher fee, but another part of it was, just getting better gigs and better events.
Can you share what that new fee is that you're shooting for now and getting more consistently?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these conferences that are booking me at $7,500 now. And then, individual firms are in maybe $5,500 range. So in between that, which is, I mean, that's more than twice what I was getting. So Yeah, and we're talking about not dollars. These are make-believe fictional units of
Yes, no, right. These are like bananas. We're talking purely
exactly
in bananas
right.
and theoretical fictional terms for the the benefit of all of the.
Yeah, but it's been great, and the thing is that it doesn't always happen immediately, because a lot of the methodology and a lot of that is a long-term thing, and especially because I was headed full steam the wrong direction in like an aircraft carrier, so it took a little while for it to turn. So now I've got it going the right direction, but it's also cool because just those outreach and creating those relationships with potential clients and being a source of value for them and a trusted advisor or what have you, so those are starting to pay dividends now, which is great. And the inertia is really going the right direction downhill now, and it starts to snowball. So, you're not going to see immediate results maybe, but if you lay that foundation right, then it'll go. But I mean, I did. I mean, for sure. But
that's the pen. That's the pen, because you're one of the few people that put the pedal to the metal and made it happen very, very quickly. So tell that story.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was within 2 weeks of starting the program, and I booked an event based on using the templates, tools, and scripts that you had, and it worked. And I called you and left them out. I was like, I can't believe this works. Like, this is like voodoo witchcraft. Like, what the hell did you just sell me? But it was awesome. Yeah. And so it was fantastic.
So within 2 weeks, boom, you booked a new gig using some of the new methodology and training and tools that you picked up in the program.
Yeah, and never won cents. But no, I'm totally kidding. I'm completely joking. But won right away, and then that just encouraged me to keep going down this path and do everything else that you were feeding me. So no, it was fantastic and very helpful.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you as always. Let's move on and chat with Karen.
Right. I started my solo practice with just enough business from my previous life to get up and started in a very nice way. So I never had to build the foundations of a business from scratch. I carried it in with me, which roughly translated means I had just enough knowledge to be dangerous. And so I was. I did a lot of things on my own. I built my own website, which was such a total hack job. And I built my own one sheet, which I keep just for the comedic value to go back and look at it. But the truth of the matter was I carried enough clients with me that didn't matter. And then sequestration happened, budget cuts were made, and I had to go back and start backfilling the processes that I never brought with me in the first place. So I went to, you're not the only marketer helper that I've approached.
Surprisingly, there are other people that claim to do what I do. It's really annoying to me, but you're right.
Well, the world is filthy with them. And most of them are, frankly, you give away better stuff than they sell, number one. And the other one I got hooked up with was a flat out crook. So I didn't come to you without some battle scars in this relationship. And I did my homework. I called somebody whose opinion I valued and said, is this David Newman guy for real? And she said, yes, whatever he's trying to sell you, buy, you will get your money back. So that's the kind
whatever he's pitching at that particular moment, just go ahead and buy it.
And this was from a fellow military member. So I felt pretty strongly that this was not somebody who threw money around, or this was a conservative consumer. Right. So I felt very good about investing the time and money to work with you. So I'm a couple of weeks into this, and already I have found that I had a lot of work to do to refine my messages, my products, my approach. I found in my previous efforts, I could get booked to speak every day of the week and twice on Sunday if I didn't want to get paid. But, there's this other piece of, if I wanted to be a volunteer speaker, I wouldn't need your help, but that's not what I'm interested in doing. So to my mind, the great value that you have brought to me is to approach this from a systemic point of view, from a process-driven point of view, to work to get your foundations right, which I never had before. So I'm backfilling that stuff up underneath my business on the fly. And I'm feeling great about the investment of the time, the investment of the money, how we're working together, in what I'm seeing in my results thus far. So stand by. I think things are going to break in a great way. So
fantastic. Thank you.
my
Thank
thumbs
you.
up.
And Cindy Arledge. So you are a speaker profit formula veteran as well. Not a new kid on the block when it comes to entrepreneurship, multi-serial business owner, very savvy kind of person. You know your way around marketing and sales in some other arenas. Talk about how you came in to the program and sort of, you're the evolution of Cindy 1.0 and then 2.0 and then 3.0 and then the direction that you're headed now, and then the results that you hope to receive as a result of our program together.
Well, I heard about you from another client that you had, and she raved about how hard you made her work and how much progress that she did with you. And then you came to our NSA meeting, and I got to meet you in person. And seeing you live and seeing you sell a coffee cup for $5 and provide $10 worth of value, that's what sold me. And I think I chased you down, and I had already signed up for your book profit class. And when I saw you in person, I was like, I want the whole thing, the whole David, give me the whole shebang. And so I feel like you will save me years of effort.
And then talk a little bit, so it's thank you. That's awesome. Talk a little bit about just the process of going through the speaker profit formula and then the online modules and then our weekly calls and how that is supporting and accelerating your progress.
Well, your information that you have available to us 24 hours a day is absolutely fabulous. A lot of people just give that. That information without the weekly calls would not be near as impactful. The way that you help us set goals and then hold our feet to the fire and give us support. It doesn't matter if I'm asking the question or if someone else is asking the question, because all of us are in the same place and we're all looking for the same information. So I find out lots of times I might have had a question to ask you that someone else beat me to the punch, or someone else has even asked me a question that I hadn't even thought of that opened a whole new door. So it's been a very enlightening process all the way around.
And share a little bit, because I know that you are a fabulously successful entrepreneur with multiple businesses and multiple ventures in the past. Give us a quick sketch of your business background, because I think that's really important for people to put your great comments into some kind of context.
You mean the fact that I run a multi-million-dollar commercial real estate venture and, earned an MBA and just had various backgrounds. I've done everything from sell bras. Yes, I did work at a lingerie store.
John's paying attention now.
Yeah. To owning my own pest control company and probably everything else in between. So, but when it comes to the speaking business, I think you give me too much credit on the marketing and sales side, because when you're in such a genre of the pest control and the real estate, you don't really have to learn the marketing that much. This thought-provoking, this thought leadership process that we're in requires a whole new level of how to present yourself so that people understand your product. It's really easy to slap a picture of a dead bug on the side of your truck and drive around and people get what you do. This information technology is a whole different world.
Yeah, well, and you're right that a lot of people come into this saying, "Oh, I've done marketing for years, or I've sold, or I've run my multi-million-dollar businesses, so I know how to market and sell a speaking business." And I think you're right that when we are the product, when we are the service, when we are the saleable item, a lot of things are different, and especially in the marketplace today, right? Trying to get into the corporations, associations, and groups, where it's really an attention economy and you have to first earn their attention before you earn their money. There are some, you can't just beat the door down anymore. You can't just, you can't browbeat people into, like John was saying about hire me as a speaker. I'm awesome. Here's my video. Here's my stuff. Here's where I've spoken before. You can't beat them into submission. You have to offer value, invite engagement, and you have to position yourself in a certain way And also talk a little bit, before we leave your fabulous success story. You've changed and morphed and shaped and reshaped what you're doing, and that has not been easy. And we've been kind of doing this together and kind of tracking you step by step, making good decisions, but, kind of feeling your way around the marketplace that you want to serve. So talk about just how that evolved. You don't need to go into the details unless you want to. And then how the structure of this process is helping you decide not only what to do and how to do it, but what not to do and the directions that you decided that you don't want to go in.
Well, my topic is very, it's a difficult one. I have a preventative market, not a, I've got to convince people that the sky is falling. And I'm very passionate about what I want to speak about and the knowledge that I have. And so the process that you've allowed me to go through is that even though I care about it, even though it's helpful, if I don't position it right, no one's going to listen to me. And so you helped me understand how to get people to listen and hit them in their pocketbooks.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, everyone. I want to just go a last final quick round. Anything to add? Any last comments, thoughts, insights, or experience that you'd like to share, having gone through the Speaker Profit Formula program, or just from where you are in your speaking business now, any final thoughts to folks who are considering joining the program? And we can go in the same order, maybe starting with John.
Well, I mean, I think that, I hit on it earlier. It was just, it was a real confidence boost, and that there's a lot of inner deep thoughts to be done. There's a lot of that inside work to be done that you need to, that inner work that you need to do to set that foundation properly. And that's hard, and it's really getting to the foundation of what do you do and why do you do it? Which, if you don't get that right, then you can't obviously expect anyone else to understand that either. But, a lot of people just, try and make it happen. So I mean, there are some challenging things. It's not just sign up for the workshop and David hands you some scripts and you're off going. It's there's some work to be done, and it's hard. But if you do the work and you put in the time, then I mean the rewards are there. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I got lucky and had one right away, and have continued to get them ever since, and more rapidly now. I mean, yeah. So it's been great, really great. And so just do the work, put in the time, and good things will happen. That's for sure.
Fantastic. Good. So Karen is back, I think, after some doggy duty, right? We love the puppies. And closing thoughts or final words, anything that you'd like to share with folks that are considering joining our program?
Well, I wholly endorse what it's John said, that if you're not willing to do the work, then you're not a magician. All you are is a Sherpa, a shepherd, helping us find what it is we're supposed to be doing. And that's not a small matter, because if there's anything more plentiful than people who are in the marketing business, it's people who run around and say, I'm a speaker. Well, oh yeah? Well, maybe we all speak, but mm-hmm. that and becoming what you think you are when you say you're a speaker, is that the road to that is a whole lot of hard work, a tremendous amount of work. And if you're not going to spend $1, you're not going to get very good results. Take it from someone who tried to do it on the cheap, thought I could read the books and do it myself. All you're going to do is waste your time. So if you're not willing to invest your energy and your intellect and a small amount of money, then find something else to do, because this is not going to work.
And just to be clear, the small amount of money we're talking about, quote unquote, is in the many thousands of dollars. Well, it's not like, oh yeah, it's like $50 to work with Newman. So, let's put that. I mean, I love that you call it a small amount of money, because that means that you're seeing the return very clearly and very obviously coming in the future.
Yes, I do. And to me, that is a small amount of money. I don't know what business you can invest this kind of fraction for the expectation
Right.
that you're going to have this. That's a really, really important thing. And people's expectations of what they're going to get out of your products, I think they're going to be amazed, because it is really rather revealing to me. And I considered myself a pretty savvy executive and a professional, and I was stunned at how dumb I am. And one of the things that I really appreciate about you is you throw a stake in the ground and say, this is what you should be doing. Don't do this. And there's so few people around. Most of the help that I've gotten is, well, there's no right way to do this. And yeah, there is. And some things there is a right way to do it. So all that to say, I'm happy, and I would recommend you.
Awesome. Thank you, Karen. How about you, Cindy? Any final closing thoughts or aha moments or things to share with folks that might be considering joining us?
One of the things that I think that you bring to the table, David, is your depth and breadth of knowledge of this industry. For me, I have this little quirky topic, and you seem to know everybody in it. And I've heard you with other speakers, and you just bring such, I'd say years, but let's admit it, it's decades of experience in so many subjects that really help the speaker. It's not that you just know sales and marketing, how to help them do that. You know the marketing language banks to send them to let them start researching their own product. And so I think that's, how do you put a price on that? Apparently you have.
Apparently I have. Awesome.
I do have one small thing to add.
Please go ahead.
I think that the thing that I tell people too that I forgot about is that I just feel like you genuinely care about our success. Like it's not just taking our money and shove you through a program. Like you genuinely care, like almost annoyingly so. I mean, like a parent, that you do care about my success. So that's a really cool thing, and it helps when you're out in la la land as a speaker, not knowing which way to go, to know that you're behind me, shoving me every inch of the way.
with love.
Right. With my heels dug in.
Right. Yes. Well, I will chase you down. If you're not having success, if you're not implementing, I'm going to come get you, and we're going to make sure that you have success. So thank you for acknowledging that. That's a huge, huge compliment, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you for spending this time. I cannot wait for our next check-in, and we're all moving up the ladder, our next step in our adventure together. And thank you for being with me today.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day, guys. We'll talk soon.
All right. See you later.
All right. Bye.
All right.